Why is it getting harder to have a forever world in Minecraft? Minecraft used to be my favorite game. I used to watch my favorite YouTubers for hours, and then one day I got the game for myself and I spent thousands of hours in it. I used to play in what I guess today would be called an SMP. I wasn't an amazing builder. I wanted to make a fortress, and it just ended up being a giant cube with 4 towers on each corner. And although it was completely flat, symmetrical, and entirely made out of cobblestone, I was extremely proud of what I had made. Partially, I'm sure, because it took quite some time. It was very, very big. especially because I was like 12 years old and had like 2 hours of playtime a day. And for a few months now, I've been trying to get back into the game. I want to feel the same immersion that I did back then. But for some reason, I just couldn't do it. And I kept wondering and trying different things. And then, the other day, it clicked. See, I have a very bad relationship with beds nowadays. And I think maybe that's super random to most people. But using the beds just always made me feel like I'm cheating. Like, it feels way too convenient and easy for something that completely takes the challenge out of the game. And I look at what Minecraft used to be, empty and strange terrain, suddenly engulfed by the pitch blackness that used to be nights, only filled by the terrifying noises of zombies and spiders, eerie cave noises and nostalgic music. You know, in some sense, it was a horror game. And nowadays, the only reason why I skip the night at all is because creepers and skeletons are slightly too annoying when I'm trying to build something. But it's not even like I'm building that much anyways. I guess part of that is because I've spent too much time on YouTube. Everyone is so good at it now. It's so impressive, so detailed. But no, it's not just that. It feels like my crappy buildings look much more out of place now. Everything looks so much smoother and polished. A random cube in the world just can't compete with that. I feel like the game itself is telling me that what I'm building sucks. Maybe I just don't enjoy Minecraft. Maybe I've lost my creativity, or I'm too much of a perfectionist, too burdened with self-judgment. What even is the point of Minecraft? Why am I trying so hard to enjoy this? And that's when it clicked. The point. What is the point? That is a good question. At least for me, the point is to just fill the world with my creations. But is it really me that is keeping me from that? Because if you think about it, Minecraft is kind of pulling me away from that. Like, for example, with a bed. The bed is so annoying to me. It feels so disruptive to my flow. And at the same time, it feels like I'm cheating by avoiding the night, even though the night is not really challenging. But then, what is the point? What is the point of the night? And I think this is the pattern you can see all over Minecraft. It used to be just a sandbox, until they added survival and horror elements to it, which kind of diametrically opposes the sandbox nature. In this kind of world, the motivation to build something comes from the need to survive, which is extrinsic. And in fact, the game punishes buildings made from intrinsic motivation. If you make it too complicated or non-functional, you're going to keep being interrupted by nightfall and your build will be infested by mobs. Then they move towards adventure, exploration, and some RPG elements, like XP, enchanting, and brewing, which to me feel like they might as well have been generated by an AI with how unintuitively they are designed. And they kind of have the same issue. They extrinsically motivate you, telling you, don't you want to build a mob farm so you can get more XP faster, so you can enchant more until you randomly get the ones you want? Don't you want to build a villager farm where you keep breaking and placing their workbenches to get the right trait to upgrade your gear, then put a zombie in a boat and use it to zombify the villager to then give it a weakness potion followed by a golden apple, which is gonna lower the cost of the trade, which is in no way completely convoluted if the only purpose of doing that is to have slightly faster tools for getting the materials to actually start building. I think you can see where I'm getting at. And I also stand by my point from earlier. The more random and extreme generation from the old versions, alongside the rougher textures, totally made the barrier of entry to building much lower. So here is why I think it is harder to have a forever world in Minecraft nowadays. The game's progression is not long enough, linear enough, or well enough designed to keep someone who needs extrinsic motivation to keep playing for long enough. Since the Adventure update in Beta 1.8, the game has presented players with a goal to work towards: beating the Ender Dragon and getting the best gear. However, this makes the player depend on extrinsic motivation to get to that goal. Due to very bad balancing of the mechanics, even a non-speedrunner can achieve this goal in a few hours. After that, you suddenly need to make your own goals, which is an extreme shift in tempo. Worlds also feel really samey now. It is much rarer to find some really special terrain near spawn that makes you feel attached to that world. For me, this meant a few things. I use a mod that gives me the terrain generation of Beta 1.7.3, where the world was still wacky and unique. I also use a texture pack that resembles old Minecraft textures to get back the roughness. And I turned day-night cycle off. I don't think this is a perfect fix, but at least now I don't get disrupted every 10 minutes while trying to work on a building. Overall, I'm trying to avoid any part of Minecraft that is pulling me away from the sandbox part of the game. I love this game so much, and right now I can really feel this love again. Having disabled nights has really made me feel so at peace and immersed while just working on my creations. I hope the developers at some point really focus on tweaking their old mechanics instead of just making new ones, because I think it could make more people keep playing for longer, instead of lose interest after beating the Ender Dragon. Thank you so much for listening to me yap about this, and please share your opinions in the comments. I will reply to every one of you. I am so passionate about this, and have a great day.